What's up, guys? Your boy, 20K13. Gonna give you guys a 10 WWE SummerSlam result prediction. And this comes from WhatCulture.com. WWE SummerSlam is this Sunday from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It is the highlight of what is going to be a fantastic weekend for WWE, with 3 straight nights sold out at the 15,000 capacity arena. Business is booming around the show, but will it be a critical success? In the build-up, it has been less exciting than last year's Cena vs. Lesnar event. In fairness to WWE, the promotional job this year was always going to be a hard one, with 3 of their top headliners barely featuring on television. Cena was out with a broken nose, while Lesnar and Taker were unavailable. The one highlight of the build was the Lesnar and Taker brawl, but that was way back on the July 20th Raw. Still, a show like SummerSlam sells itself. Lesnar vs. The Undertaker is the kind of main event that will do well with the masses, while Cena and Rollins for the WWE US title is likely to be the wrestling match of the evening. The well-stocked undercard features Kevin Owens vs. Cesaro, which also looks to be very promising. It is a big night for WWE. The WrestleMania in August, and the following are the expected results. Number 10, Dolph Ziggler vs. Rusev. This is one of those matches in which promotional build has suffered, with Ziggler away shooting in a movie for the majority of the last few weeks. In his absence, the feud has been more about Lana and Summer Rae. It will actually be more interesting to see the two girls wrestling. Regardless of narrative failure, Ziggler and Rusev should be able to put on a good match. The Bulgarian brute is capable of impressive action, and Dolph Ziggler is constantly awesome in the ring. It makes sense that it be the opener, and Ziggler will get the win to give the show a hot start. Rusev rarely loses, so expect it to be unclean. Summer Rae causes an inadvertent distraction to her wrestler, only for Lana to then take her out. In the confusion, Dolph hits the zigzag on a distracted Rusev. 1, 2, 3. Winner, Dolph Ziggler. Number 9. Team Bella vs. Team Bad vs. Team PCB. It is amazing how badly WWE have botched the supposed Diva Revolution, force-feeding their audience one of the most contrived feuds of the year. The second that Stephanie took credit for the Revolution, putting Charlotte and Becky Lynch with Paige, it made it lame. Team PCB are bland babyfaces, and it's hard to care if they win or lose. As for the Bella Twins, they flipped and flopped from face to heel on too many occasions. Throw in Alicia Fox to the random equation, and it come off as just a cheap fashion. Team Bad aren't much better. Naomi and Tamina are underdeveloped as characters, and Sasha Banks has nothing to gain from the situation. The match this Sunday would probably suffer a similarly negative fate. Non-competitive is rarely conducted to good action. The rules are that whenever someone gets pinned, their entire team has to leave. It makes sense that faces against heel are the last two teams. So Team Bad probably get eliminated first. Naomi tapping to Charlotte figure 8 would be the way to do it. Team PCB and Team Bella would then trade some action before Charlotte get back in and pin Nikki Bella off a roll up. That makes sense in the long term direction of making Charlotte a star and putting her against Nikki for the title. Winner Team PCB. Number 8, Kevin Owens vs. Cesaro. One thing for sure, this is going to be a great wrestling match. Picking a winner is tricky, as WWE appear to have sour on Owens at the same time as they warm up to Cesaro, but with Owens having lost his last 3 special appearances and probably losing at Saturday NXT TakeOver 2, it is unlikely that he'll lose 5 major matches in a row. He gets the win over Cesaro at SummerSlam, beating him clean with a pop-up powerbomb. He needs a win right now, even more than Cesaro. The Swissman would then offer a handshake after the match, only for Owen to attack him further. They need to do that in order to keep the heel heat strong, as Owen had definitely dropped off a bit since his Cena feud. It will be a fine match, lot of technical wrestling, big spot, transition, and near fall. It will be one of those in which both men come out looking great, but Owens get the all-important pinfall. Winner, Kevin Owens. Number 7. Stephen Amell and Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett. Stephen Amell is a big wrestling fan and an athletic type of guy, so hopefully he can rise to the occasion and perform to a decent standard this Sunday. It could make all the difference between this match being forgettable, filler, or memorable action. The in-ring work will mostly be focused upon Neville and Stardust, seeing as they the main wrestler in this feud. Barrett inclusion is nothing more than WWE wanting to fit him in on the card. The logical finish is Neville softening Stardust up, hitting the red arrow, then tagging in a male. The actor can then cover for the victory, likely executing some sort of splash move of his own. Winner, Stephen Amell and Neville. Number 6. Primetime Player versus Los Matadores versus Lucid Dragon versus The New Day. Tag titles. This overcrowded match could end up dropped to a pre-show berth. It just isn't very interesting, with none of the team really inspiring much confidence for an exciting match. The other problem is fans have seen these teams wrestling so much on television, nobody really cares for it or wants to see it, especially on a card with so many other more interesting matches. This tag team Fatal 4-Way just comes off as cheap filler in which they wanted to get as many people on the card as possible. Doing a title switch would be a mistake. All the headlines are going to be about the bigger matches, so any meaningful tag title change here would just be lost in the shuffle. Primetime players should retain after pinning one of the Los Matadores. Winner, Primetime players. Number 5. Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. One of the big shots that WWE are thinking about for SummerSlam is Dean Ambrose going heel and turning on Roman Reigns. That's why they've been pushing it so hard that Ambrose and Reigns are best buddies on Raw. The term brother has been used again and again, and that sort of scripting is always deliberate. It could always be Reigns as the one who turns, but the plan for him remains the babyface franchise role. You never know though. Things change all the time in WWE. There's even talk of Sting showing up here, which is at least a possibility. The more likely angle is that Ambrose turns on Reigns after the match. They defeat the Wyatt family, and Reigns hitting a spear on Harper and getting the pin. In the post-match celebration, Ambrose then hit a dirty deed on Reigns, setting up a segment for Raw and a match for the next special. Winner, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Number 4. Ryback versus The Miz versus Big Show. Intercontinental title. Only just returning from injury, it would be a shame to take the Intercontinental title off Ryback. It would be more astute to leave the belt on him, particularly since his babyface reaction has been so strong. The finish should be a meat hook clothesline to take Miz out of the action, followed up by a shell shock on Big Show for the win. That's the cool visual that fans want to see, and the manner of the victory will set Ryback on his way to a decent mid-card push. Winner, Ryback. Number 3. John Cena, US Champion versus Seth Rollins, WWE Champion, winner take all match. This should be a great match, with Cena's experience and Rollins' ability combining to make a possible show stealer. The huge stake, both the US title and WWE title on the line, make it very interesting. In terms of action, it is going to be a 20-minute match with both men hitting everything they have. Near fall and transition plus the usual big spot like the springboard stunner or Phoenix splash will likely feature towards the end, but who goes over? It really is a tough one to call, given that WWE are planning for it to be a long feud. And given the timing of the 15-time Cena t-shirt release, the suspicion had to be that Rollins will retain this weekend. However, winning the battle doesn't necessarily mean winning the war. Cena seems destined to get the title at some point in the next few months. At SummerSlam, Rollins escaped with the title, landing a roll-up out of Cena at TFU. Winner, Seth Rollins. Number 2, Randy Orton vs. Sheamus. It is hardly the most anticipated match on the card, but Sheamus and Randy Orton should produce something really good. By placing it between the Cena and Undertaker matches, WWE are giving fans an entertaining buffer between the two main events. It kills the idea of Sheamus cashing in Money in the Bank, but that doesn't really matter if the cash in isn't happening. Randy Orton won the match last month, so it makes sense that they flipped the result this time around. Sheamus gets the win off a Brogue Kick, giving him some much needed momentum as he built toward eventually cashing his briefcase in. Winner, Sheamus. And number 1, The Undertaker vs. Brock Lesnar. This one is hard to call, mainly because it never made any sense to begin with. It still makes no sense. With two super hot baby faces forced together, it is an example of creative logic being abandoned in the face of commercial interest. It is going to draw big because of who is involved, but booking a loser is tricky. One rumor is that Kane will get involved, costing Lesnar the match. There's certainly one option for the finish, Kane aiding The Undertaker to victory. It also adds up in terms of storyline as WWE kept dropping reference to Kane and Undertaker being brothers in the build-up to Lesnar injuring Kane's leg. The Big Red Machine could now be back looking for revenge, possibly with his mask back on. Another rumor is that The Undertaker will win, with the idea of setting up a third Lesnar-Taker match. It would be one win to each, and they'll settle it at WrestleMania. Obviously, the 2002 and 2003 matches don't count. However, with Taker getting the better of Lesnar on the go-home Raw, the indication looks like Rock will be winning this weekend. It is a tough one, but I'll side with Undertaker victory. It is doubtful he will come back just to take a loss, and the Kane theory sounds plausible. As a match, it should be fairly good, with a standard big finisher kick out. It struggled to be worse than WrestleMania 30's dismal effort. The Undertaker win after a tombstone pile driver following interference from Kane. Winner, The Undertaker. Well, that is, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.